A couple of weeks ago, I posted about the book I was reading and about how it was all about techniques to help you imagine a new future, even one that might be radically different. And I had said that I was going to start using those techniques to kind of reimagine the ballet dress code. And now is a great time of year to do it. We're getting ready to start a new season. I'm noticing that I have teacher friends who own studios who are getting a lot of pushback from people. I'm kind of value neutral on that one. Some things probably deserve to be pushed back against. And some things people are just crazy about. Whoa. I agree that pushing against traditions can be valuable, especially when you can identify why you want to. And I'm seeing more and more conversations about how do we handle this? What parts of the dress code are fair assumptions? What parts of the dress code are unfair assumptions? What can we give on? What do we need to stand firm on? These are questions that are coming up a lot right now because people are starting a new year. So I've been mulling over this idea of what would a dress code that works for everybody look like? Because it's one thing to have men and women and a girl and a boy and a non-binary dress code. I don't know, that puts a lot of people in spotlights that they maybe didn't want to be in. If we have a non-binary uniform that's available, it's not actually available to kids who are not ready to tell people that they don't feel stereotypically male or female. I know students who right now, if we said you could choose whether you want to wear the male uniform or the female uniform, would choose the male uniform just because of the black opaque tights. That's it. They're yep, good, yay. It is not my place to make a judgment about that. I am only pointing out that adding a non-binary version to the dress code so that we would have 3 uniforms to choose from is still not welcoming. It's not as inclusive as I am hoping this meandering questioning takes, the path I'm hoping to go down. Because my motivation is to reimagine a dress code where as many people as possible feel welcome and comfortable in their own skin and comfortable in their own clothes, but still meets the reasons of a dress code. So one of the steps here is, why have a dress code? That's a whole other post, because I really am intending to talk about expanding my imagination of what is possible. So while I've been thinking about these things, one of the things that really surprised me was how nostalgic I got for the old/current dress code, which is especially weird because I didn't even dance as a little kid. I started ballet when I was 12, but I'm scrolling through social media and all of these studios have pictures of little 4-year-olds and they're waving ribbons and I'm oh my gosh, there is nothing cuter than when they're too small for the tights and so the tights are not tight, the tights are baggy. I'm that is so cute. And if we reimagine it, we would be getting rid of that. And I was okay, well, why do I care? Because it's not the tights that are cute. It's the tiny little humans wearing the tights. They're so cute. Why am I nostalgic for this? I can let it go. For example, I am also deeply nostalgic for Jell-O pudding pops. There are going to be 7 people on the planet that remember these. They were not around for a really long time. I think about them probably every summer. I loved Jell-O pudding pops. You know what? They are gone. They are never coming back. And I am living happily ever after without them. So, just the fact that I'm managing to scrape out an existence full of joy without a Jell-O pudding pop. Nostalgia is not a reason to resist change. Itty bitty tiny humans in tights that are not tight, they are baggy because they haven't grown into them yet. That's adorable. I love it. I think it's cute. You know what? We can move on and live happily ever after. And in a couple decades, be like, oh yeah, that was cute. But this other thing that we have is super cute too, because it's the people that are cute, not the, it's not the uniform that makes them delightful. So that's just my reminder to myself that nostalgia is not a reason. It isn't. The other thing that is helping me like shift my mind into a more things are possible perspective is I recently learned that when tights were first invented, the papal states, which were the states that were controlled by the papacy, the Pope, so basically the Italian states at the time, tights were dyed blue because they didn't want them to seem too suggestive. So if tights were originally blue for a number of dancers, I mean, that is so radically far. Like, can you imagine if I made a video and I was like, hey, I think all ballet dancers should wear blue tights all the time. Royal blue tights. Boom. Like, can you imagine how squawky people would get about that? But they used to be blue. I could be like, this is historical accuracy. We are staying true to tradition. There's nothing traditional about pink tights. Tradition is not a reason. It's more of an excuse. So these are my thoughts. Blue tights and Jell-O pudding pops are really leading me to a more open place inside my own head where more things are possible. So I'm going to keep brainstorming. I'm going to keep thinking about what is it about the dress code that is important to me as a teacher. And I'm going to keep looking for videos and sources that help me understand what is it about a dress code that is important to other people, and what is it about a dress code that is unwelcoming. I would love to hear what you would change. And I would love to hear from trans and non-binary and gender non-conforming people about what they would like to wear in a ballet class. Because I can sit here and imagine things, fine, yay. Like, I love imagining things, but I'm a straight, white, cisgendered woman. I need to listen to other people to come up with better ideas. So comment. What would you like? I really would like to know.